So what can you expect to happen in a doping control test? Essentially, you should see the same procedures followed no matter where or when you are being tested. The first thing that will happen is notification. An anti-doping official will approach you and inform you that you have been selected for a test. At this time, you'll be asked to complete some paperwork and provide identification. It is important that you make sure you remain within sight of the testing official from now until the procedure is completed. Drug Free Sport New Zealand recommends that you inform another person that you've been selected and ask them to accompany you through most of the process as a support person. This can be a parent, coach, teammate or a friend. After you've been notified, you must report to the doping control station as instructed by the doping official. If you have a warm-down routine, a press conference or a medal ceremony, you must discuss this with the official who will make the decision as to whether you need to report straight away. Remember, you must keep within sight of the official at all times. Drug Free Sport New Zealand will provide a range of sealed drinks for you to consume while providing the sample. Remember that the official procedures are now well underway, so you need to keep communicating with the testing official and comply with the requests they make. As you arrive at the doping control station, you will be asked to sign in. At the start of the sample collection process, you will be asked to choose a beaker. You choose the beaker, and then you'll be taken to a private area where the testing official will observe you passing the urine sample. Minors must be accompanied by a support person. When an athlete passes their sample, it must be in direct view of the testing official. This means that the athlete must be naked from chest line to the knees in order for the sample to be seen passing directly from your body into the beaker. Let's be frank about this. It's not a lot of fun the first time, let alone the next 10 times. But at the end of the day, it's a very important process that ultimately protects you and your sport from cheats. Remember that it's really important to follow the instructions of the testing official and the procedures correctly. There have been cases in New Zealand of athletes facing bans as a result of not complying with the instructions. So the tough part of the test is over, but it is very important to follow all of the procedures correctly. Your sample is now your full responsibility. Only you can handle the sample for this reason. Keeping an eye on the sample, you can now choose a testing kit just like you chose your own beaker. Once you have done this, we will make sure that you are comfortable that the kit is secured with the seal over the lid. Once you've confirmed this, we ask you to open the kit and read the numbers on the bottles, lids and kit out loud. They must all be the same number. Now you can check that the bottles are securely sealed. You will be instructed to remove the seals and lids from the bottles and prepare to pour the sample. Now the official will instruct you to pour the sample carefully and in a particular order. 30 ml into the B bottle and 60 to 80 ml into the A bottle. Now all you need to do is put the lids back on the sample bottles and check they are secure. The official will now check they are closed properly. The bottles are placed in plastic bags and then into the pack. There are a few questions we will ask you before we complete the paperwork. You'll be asked to declare any medications or supplements that you have used recently. Make sure you declare all substances. You will need to provide your doctor's name and your coach's name also. Now that the procedure is complete, you take your copy of the paperwork and can leave the doping control station, signing out as you go.
So what happens to your sample now that the test is completed? It is sent to a lab and analysed. In New Zealand, we send the samples to Sydney for analysis. How do you know your sample is safe? Firstly, any paperwork that is sent with your sample does not have your name on it, so the lab have no idea whose sample it is that they are analysing. Also, your sample has been managed in a full chain of custody while on its way to the lab. Any attempt to tamper with or open your sample in any manner could not take place in transit.
The lab will open your A sample first. If there is no evidence of doping, the lab will inform Drug Free Sport New Zealand, who will in turn inform you and the National Sports Organisation or event organisers. You can keep on competing with no further consequences. If the test on the A bottle is positive, the consequences are very different.
The lab will inform Drug Free Sport New Zealand and they will in turn notify you and your sport of the outcome. If your A sample fails, you'll be provisionally suspended until the B bottle has been opened. In order to establish a doping rule violation, the contents of the B sample must confirm what is found in your A sample.
You may be present when the B sample is opened, or you may appoint a representative to be there. Any costs associated with attending the bottle opening is the responsibility of the athlete. Usually the result of the B bottle opening confirms the result of the A bottle. You are given an opportunity to explain the result in front of a tribunal. In New Zealand, we use the New Zealand Sports Tribunal.
You also have the right to challenge any findings of a tribunal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. This again is at your own expense. Generally, the penalty for a first offence can range from a reprimand to a 2-year ban from all sport. Repeat offenders face a life ban from all sport. The ban is global and covers all levels of organised sports. In other words, a banned athlete cannot compete, officiate or play any management role in any sport anywhere in the world. Better examples of the bans that have been imposed on athletes can be seen on the Drug Free Sport New Zealand website.